announcements from either of you in terms of community events? David, anything at all? Okay. So I'm honored to, again, participate in the Board of Selectmen's proclamation and recognition of the Armenian Genocide. And I know Jaha and others may want to make some comments. There's also an event on Friday, what's the date? 22nd, Friday, the same day, 22nd, at the State House that we've all been invited to. I attended last year and the year before that with the dedication of Heritage Park, correct? As well. So just very moving.
This year, Heritage Park will happen on Sunday.
On Sunday? Very moving events that we've attended in the past and that I've attended in the past. I think he's tagged in there as well. So it's my honor.
Jim was there last year.
Jim was there last year as well. So it's our honor, again, folks, to be able to present this proclamation to the Armenian community in recognition of the Armenian genocide that took place many years ago. I'm going to read it again. We read it at our last meeting. I'll read it and I'll present it, and I'm sure that folks, Barbara Watson's here from the Human Rights Commission, and others may want to say a few words, so the mic will be yours right after that. So, the Town of Belmont, Massachusetts Board of Selectmen Proclamation. Whereas the month of April commemorates the tragic history of the Armenian Genocide of 1915, and whereas over 1.5 million Armenians were killed or uprooted from their homeland during this horrible event, and whereas the genocide represents an atrocity against humanity, which we must continually be reminded of, and whereas surviving Armenians have relocated around the world to begin new and productive lives, and whereas a significant and proud population of people with Armenian heritage make their home in Belmont, Massachusetts, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Belmont recall the Armenian Genocide to remind society of this tragic event in the course of human events. The Board of Selectmen, we signed this last week, or 2 weeks ago, I think it was, Mr. Baghdadi. Sammy S. Baghdadi, Chair, Mark A. Palillo, Vice Chair, James R. Williams, Selectman. So with that, if someone would like to come forward and present this to you. Gentlemen, will you join me over here?
Yes.
Chris? Come over here.
Barbara, you want to join us?
Barbara,
This
why don't you join us? I'm
this
sorry.
came from the
Thank you
Human
very
Rights
much.
Commission's
That's
request.
right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
If you're ready.
As I remember, last year there were 2 survivors.
Well, so, we have
106 years old.
So the mic is yours up here. If you want to just get up here and introduce yourself and say a few words.
Barbara, if Barbara could say something
Absolutely.
on
that's
behalf of the
fine.
Human Rights
Yes,
Commission.
Of course.
Good evening. My name is Barbara Watson, and I'm here on behalf of the Belmont Human Rights Commission. I'm here to thank the Board of Selectmen for considering and issuing this proclamation, remembering the loss of life and other losses suffered in the Armenian Genocide of 1915. In issuing the proclamation, the Board of Selectmen honor the victims and survivors of the genocide and the Armenian members of our community and their family and their friends, and remind all of us of this horrible and tragic event. By unanimous vote at its March meeting, the Human Rights Commission authorized me to request that you issue your annual proclamation. We in Belmont benefit from the richness that our Armenian neighbors bring to our community. The Human Rights Commission benefits from our member Gerard Hovsepian's efforts to remind us of the past atrocities suffered by the Armenian people and how these atrocities inform us about current events. We are thankful for that. Thank you again for considering and issuing the annual proclamation in this 101st anniversary year.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara.
Good evening. My name is Girard Hovsepian. I'm a town meeting member from Precinct 4, a member of the Human Rights Commission, member of the Cultural Council, and a member of the Boston Armenian Genocide Commemoration Committee. Board of Selectmen, friends, and guests. On behalf of the Armenian community in Belmont, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our venerable selectmen for honoring the memories of the 1.5 million Armenians who were killed during the Armenian Genocide of 1915 to 1923 by the Ottoman Turkish government in a premeditated attempt to annihilate all Armenians living on their ancestral homeland for several millennia with this proclamation. I also like to thank the Belmont Human Rights Commission for their support and request for this proclamation. At the time of this dark page in Armenian human history, witnesses described it in such terms as the annihilation of a nation, because the term genocide did not exist. It was in 1948 that the crime of genocide was first defined by the United Nations. Article 2 of the Convention defines genocide as any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group as such: A, killing members of a group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. It began in April 1915 with arrests, deportations, and killings of Armenian notables. In the following weeks, months, and years, the deportations, death marches, concentration camps to dispose of those who had survived, rape, mass killings, burnings, drownings, and extermination of the general population continued. The Turkish government created laws to confiscate properties of the deportees as abandoned properties. These horrors continued until 1923, resulting in the annihilation of 2/3 of the Armenian population on their ancestral homeland of several millennia, 1.5 million human beings. In comparison with Germany accepting full responsibility of the Holocaust, Turkey vehemently denies wrongdoing and does not accept responsibility and spends tens of millions of dollars to perpetuate the denial. The Armenian Genocide is a historical fact and recognized by the United Nations, 27 countries, the International Association of Genocide Scholars, European Parliament, Council of Europe, Union of Reformed Judaism, the American Jewish Committee, the Jewish Council for Public Affairs, Central Council of Jews in Germany, European People's Party, World Council of Churches, European Green Party, Mercosur, Latin American Parliament, Inter-Parliamentary Assembly on Orthodoxy, European Alliance of YMCAs, and others, including the Ottoman Empire in 1919, during the Turkish court-martials of 1919 to 1920, acknowledging the Armenian Genocide, then known as war crimes. It was after Mustafa Kemal Atatürk came to power that the Republic of Turkey adopted a policy of denial. We are proud to say that the Belmont Public School teaches the Armenian Genocide in the 11th grade at the high school. Massachusetts has suggested the teaching of the Armenian Genocide to be taught in its school districts, and a number of schools already do. On April 2, Azerbaijan made a full-scale military assault on Artsakh, Nagorno-Karabakh, which is populated by Armenians. Azerbaijan and Turkey are often described as one nation, two states. It is a history that goes back to the times of the Armenian Genocide. This is not the time to go into this, but Karabakh Armenians repelled this invasion successfully and are still in control of their land. If Azerbaijan had succeeded, there would have been another genocide. It is impossible for Armenians of Artsakh to live under Azerbaijani rule. The handouts that I have given out will give a brief commentary of the deadly violence that occurred last week. There are reports that Azeri ISIS members within the Azeri military might have been involved in the murder and mutilation of several Armenian elderly civilians while briefly occupying Artsakh villages. If proven, this constitutes war crimes. And fortunately, the Armenians repelled the Azeris, out of those areas. Denial is the last stage of genocide, and Armenians have been living in a state of genocide without closure for over 100 years. For reconciliation, the perpetrator must accept responsibility and follow up with restitution. But there is hope that the historical truth will triumph and justice will be served. Today, there's a movement in Turkey by Turkish human rights organizations who are demanding their Turkish government for apology, compensation, and restitution for the Armenian genocide to the Armenian people. Those individuals who value human rights and those correspondents who report on these human rights issues are harassed, threatened, fined, and jailed in Turkey. Belmont has a vibrant Armenian community, many of whom are descendants of the Armenian genocide survivors. The Armenian community is involved in Belmont business, politics, education, town government, and all aspects of life in Belmont. We are proud to call ourselves Belmontians. Thank you for listening. With your permission, I would like to ask for a moment of silence to remember the Armenian martyrs of 1915 genocide and those Armenians who recently were killed in the Azerbaijani attack on Artsakh a week ago.
Thank you, Jerry. Does anyone else like to speak and provide comments? Okay. Thank you all for coming. Happy to continue to participate in this proclamation and look forward to attending the event on the 22nd. Thank you.
This is the 101st anniversary, is it?
Sorry, gentlemen, did you want to say something? I apologize.
Incredible.
Yeah.